Did Peter, the rock upon which Christ built his church, truly understand the profound journey he was embarking on? Imagine a fisherman, impulsive and sometimes fearful, yet chosen by Jesus to lead a movement that would transform the world. What if the very moments that seemed like his greatest failures were, in fact, divine signals preparing him for an unparalleled spiritual ascent? We often view Peter's life as a straightforward path from disciple to saint, but a closer look reveals a series of incredibly specific, almost cinematic divine interventions that shaped him for his next level in faith and leadership. Today, we're diving deep into 7 extraordinary, often overlooked, divine signs in Peter's life. Moments that weren't just random occurrences, but precise orchestrations from God, signaling his readiness for greater things. Think about your own journey, those pivotal moments, perhaps even challenging ones, that felt like a divine nudge, a whisper guiding you to something more. Just as Peter experienced these profound shifts, so too can we discern the spiritual indicators in our own lives, preparing us for the next chapter God has planned. This isn't just a historical account. It's a mirror reflecting how God prepares us for our own spiritual advancements, often through experiences that stretch and test our faith. From the miraculous catch of fish that first revealed Jesus' power to Peter, leaving him in awe and fear, to the seemingly devastating denial of Christ, which paradoxically paved the way for a deeper conversion. Each event was a deliberate brushstroke in the masterpiece of his spiritual formation. Consider the Transfiguration, where Peter witnessed Christ's glory firsthand, a moment that must have indelibly marked his understanding of Jesus' divine nature. Or the challenging command to walk on water, a test of faith that, despite his temporary sinking, taught him profound lessons about reliance on Christ. These weren't mere coincidences. They were divine curriculum, preparing Peter for the immense responsibilities that lay ahead. Each sign was a step, sometimes a stumble, sometimes a soaring leap towards becoming the foundational apostle. We'll explore how these signs, each unique and profound, collectively pointed Peter towards a destiny far grander than he could have ever imagined. They highlight God's patient yet persistent hand in shaping his chosen instruments. By examining these divine interventions, we gain not only a deeper appreciation for Peter's extraordinary journey, but also a clearer understanding of how God operates in our own lives, preparing us, challenging us, and ultimately elevating us. Are you ready to recognize these divine signals in your own life and embrace your next level in faith? Join us as we uncover the powerful lessons embedded in these sacred narratives, offering profound insights into spiritual growth and divine guidance. Our first divine sign in Peter's life, the one that truly set the stage for everything that followed, is the miraculous catch of fish described in Luke 5. Picture this. Peter, a seasoned fisherman, has toiled all night with his partners, casting nets, pulling them in empty, again and again. The sun is rising, weariness is setting in, and he's ready to call it a day, thoroughly defeated. Then Jesus, a carpenter by trade, tells him, a professional fisherman, to launch out into the deep and let down his nets for a catch. Now imagine the internal monologue Peter must have had. Lord, we've worked tirelessly all night and caught nothing, but because you say so, I will let down the nets. This wasn't just a simple act of obedience. It was a profound moment of humility and trust in the face of logic and experience. The next instant, the nets are so full they're tearing, and the boats are sinking under the sheer weight of the fish. It's an overwhelming, almost unbelievable abundance. This wasn't just a good day's work. It was a supernatural demonstration of power that shattered Peter's understanding of what was possible. This incredible event wasn't merely about catching fish. It was a divine revelation of Jesus' authority over creation, and more importantly, a direct, undeniable call to Peter. His immediate reaction? "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." He wasn't celebrating the catch, he was overwhelmed by the realization of God's holiness in Jesus' presence and his own unworthiness. This is crucial. It shows that the sign wasn't just an external miracle, it was an internal transformation beginning to take root. Peter wasn't just seeing a great catch, he was seeing God. This sign was Peter's first taste of the next level, a hint that his life was about to transcend the ordinary. From a fisherman focused on daily sustenance, he was being called to become a fisher of men. The sheer impossibility of the catch served as an undeniable, unforgettable marker. It bypassed his intellect and spoke directly to his spirit, preparing him to leave behind his familiar world. Think of it. He left everything behind, not for a promise of earthly riches, but because he had witnessed something so profoundly divine that his previous life paled in comparison. This moment was less about the fish and more about the foundational shift in Peter's perception of reality, of Jesus, and of his own purpose. It was the first dramatic step on a path that would lead him to become the cornerstone of the church. Our second divine sign in Peter's incredible journey brings us to Matthew 14, where we witness perhaps one of the most relatable and profoundly human moments in his life, walking on water. After feeding the 5,000, Jesus sends his disciples ahead by boat while he goes up on a mountain to pray. The night turns stormy. The waves are fierce, and the disciples are struggling against the wind. Then they see Jesus walking towards them on the water. Imagine their terror. They think it's a ghost crying out in fear, but Jesus calls out, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." And here's where Peter steps in with that characteristic blend of boldness and impulsiveness. "Lord, if it's you," he challenges, "tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus simply says, "Come." Think about that for a moment. Peter, alone among them, dares to ask for the impossible, and Jesus grants it. This wasn't just a physical act, it was a testament to his burgeoning faith, an extraordinary leap of trust. Peter actually steps out of the boat onto the tempestuous waves. He walks. For a few breathtaking steps, he's doing the impossible, defying natural law, truly on the next level. But then, the wind, the waves, the very real danger of his surroundings, they start to dominate his focus. He takes his eyes off Jesus, and immediately he begins to sink. His cry isn't for help in general, but specifically, "Lord, save me." And instantly, Jesus reaches out, catches him, and asks, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" This moment, this profound sign, resonates deeply with our own lives, doesn't it? How many times do we step out in faith, feeling confident and strong, only for the winds and waves of our circumstances, financial worries, health scares, relationship struggles, job insecurity, to distract us, causing us to doubt and begin to sink? Peter's experience isn't just a historical anecdote. It's a timeless lesson in maintaining our focus on Christ amidst life's storms. It highlights that even when we initially step out with courage, our human limitations and fears can quickly pull us down if we lose sight of the one who empowers us. Are we truly keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus, or are we allowing the chaos around us to dictate our spiritual trajectory? This isn't about blaming Peter for his momentary doubt. It's about recognizing the constant battle within ourselves to trust fully, even when the ground beneath us feels unstable. This divine sign shows us that while God calls us to the extraordinary, he also understands our human frailty and is always there to catch us when we falter, gently guiding us back to trust and preparing us for the next challenge. Our third pivotal divine sign in Peter's journey brings us to a crucial moment in Matthew 16, known as the confession at Caesarea Philippi. Here Jesus asks his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They offer various responses: John the Baptist, Elijah, Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. Then Jesus turns directly to them and asks, "But what about you? Who do you say I am?" This is the moment. While others offer general opinions, Peter once again steps forward with a profound and inspired declaration: "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." This wasn't merely a guess or an educated assumption. Jesus immediately confirms its divine origin, stating, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven." This is a direct testament to divine revelation at play in Peter's life. But Jesus doesn't stop there. He follows this affirmation with words that echo through millennia. "And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." This isn't just a compliment, it's a prophetic declaration of Peter's future role and authority. He is literally named Rock, Petros in Greek, by Jesus, solidifying his foundational importance. This sign is profoundly significant because it highlights Peter's developing spiritual discernment and his unique position among the apostles. It's not just about what Peter said, but about the divine impulse behind his words. This confession, given directly by God, was a clear indication that Peter was being molded for a role far beyond that of a simple follower. He was being prepared for unparalleled leadership, entrusted with the very keys of the kingdom. This moment solidifies his transition from an eager disciple to the designated cornerstone of the nascent church. So far, we've explored how the miraculous called Peter beyond his ordinary life, and how walking on water tested his faith, preparing him for greater trust. Now, at Caesarea Philippi, we see him explicitly chosen and empowered by divine revelation to become the foundational leader. This progression shows a clear pattern in God's preparation. He calls, he tests, and then he uniquely commissions. Are we listening for similar divine nudges in our own lives, moments where God is revealing our purpose and empowering us for our next steps in faith? This divine sign wasn't just a revelation about Jesus, it was a revelation of who Peter was destined to become. Our fourth divine sign in Peter's life is perhaps one of the most sobering, yet deeply instructive moments. The sharp rebuke from Jesus immediately following Peter's profound confession at Caesarea Philippi, found in Matthew 16:21-23. Just after Jesus praises Peter for his divinely inspired insight, he begins to explain that he must go to Jerusalem, suffer many things, be killed, and on the third day be raised to life. Peter, still basking in the glow of his recent commendation, and perhaps still thinking with a purely human, earthly perspective, takes Jesus aside and rebukes him. "Never, Lord," he exclaims, "this shall never happen to you." It's a jarring shift from divine revelation to human presumption, almost comedic in its abruptness. Peter, in his misguided zeal and love for Jesus, attempts to steer God's plan away from suffering. He misunderstands the very essence of the Messiah's mission, and Jesus' response is equally, if not more, startling. "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." This is a severe, public, and utterly humbling correction. Imagine being called Satan by the very person who just declared you the rock upon which his church would be built. This moment reveals a crucial nuance in Peter's journey. Even with divine insight and a powerful calling, human frailty, worldly ambition, and a lack of spiritual understanding can still lead us astray. This sign is critical because it dismantles a common misconception about spiritual authority. Many people assume that once God gives you a calling or a revelation, it's a smooth, uninterrupted path of perfect understanding and execution. Peter's experience here proves otherwise. It demonstrates that even those chosen for great spiritual work are still subject to human error, temptation, and the need for continuous correction and refinement. The rock is not yet fully solid. It still needs shaping by the Master's hand. The unexpected lesson here is that humbling corrections are often divine signs of preparation, not disqualification. Jesus wasn't revoking Peter's previous commissioning. He was refining him, teaching him a vital lesson about the nature of true spiritual leadership, a leadership rooted in God's will, not human comfort or ambition. It's a sharp reminder that our journey to the next level in faith will inevitably include moments where our own limited perspectives are challenged and reshaped by divine truth, no matter how uncomfortable that process might feel. These corrections, while painful, are essential for shedding our human concerns and embracing God's higher purposes. We've journeyed through 7 incredible divine signs in Peter's life, from the overwhelming abundance of the miraculous catch and his bold yet human attempt to walk on water, to the profound revelation at Caesarea Philippi and the humbling rebuke that followed. Each of these moments wasn't just a historical event. They were precisely tailored divine interventions, preparing Peter for the immense spiritual authority and foundational role he would eventually embrace as the rock of the church. His life is a powerful testament to God's patient yet persistent work in shaping us, not just for what we can do, but for who we are meant to become. Think about Peter's journey. It wasn't a straight line of perfection, but a dynamic path filled with incredible highs and significant lows. Yet through every step, every test, every revelation, God was moving him to his next level. This isn't just Peter's story. It's a blueprint for our own spiritual growth. We all encounter moments in life that feel like divine nudges, challenges that test our faith, or sudden insights that reshape our understanding. These are God's signs to us, preparing us for what's ahead, teaching us lessons we need for the next stage of our spiritual journey. The ultimate takeaway from Peter's life is this: God is constantly at work, refining us, even through our doubts and perceived failures. He's preparing us for greater purpose, for deeper trust, and for a more profound impact in His kingdom. The question for each of us is, are we ready to discern these divine signs in our own lives? Are we willing to step out of the boat when called, to embrace the humbling corrections, and to allow God to build something extraordinary through us, just as He did with Peter? As you reflect on Peter's incredible transformation, consider what next level God might be calling you to. What signs has He shown you recently? What challenges might actually be preparations in disguise? If this journey through Peter's life has brought you a new perspective or deepened your faith, there are a few important things you can do right now to continue this spiritual exploration. Firstly, make sure you subscribe to our channel right here on the screen to keep receiving inspiring content like this, exploring profound spiritual truths and the lives of saints. Secondly, if this video brought you any light or insight, please give it a like. Your simple click helps this message reach and inspire even more people seeking spiritual growth. Thirdly, we want to hear from you. Share your biggest reflection or takeaway from today's topic in the comments below. Your perspective is incredibly valuable to our community, and it helps all of us grow. And finally, if you know someone who could benefit from this powerful message of divine preparation and spiritual growth, please share this video with them. You might be the instrument of their own next-level discovery. Embrace the divine signs in your life. Your next level awaits.